The Montreal Canadiens bounced back against the Winnipeg Jets on Wednesday night. They were finally looking a lot more like themselves. It was a reassuring performance, but it doesn't erase the fact that lately, this team has been struggling defensively. So in today's video, I want to break down why that's happening, what I've noticed, and what I think needs to change. Let's talk about it. Early on in the year, I cautioned our fan community to have patience this season. I said that there would be growing pains, especially early on, and that the developing chemistry between the new players was going to take time. And honestly, I wasn't sure how losing David Savard, Christian Dvorak, and Joel Armia was going to impact the team night to night. I thought there were going to be questions about who fits in what role and how the coaching staff could learn to piece together a winning formula with the new components to the team. And at first it looked like I was wrong. The Habs came out sharp, constructive, energetic, way ahead of what I expected. But now, missing two of Montreal's pretty reliable defensive components in Caden Gooley and Alex Newhook, we're starting to see the cracks beginning to grow. But I don't even think that that's the entire problem, and I'll let you know why. But first, have you subscribed to my channel? If you haven't subscribed, I'd love if you considered doing it. We're so close to 20,000 subscribers. That's a huge benchmark. So I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, follow along, and for those of you who are already subscribed, hit the like button. It helps us with findability, I think. Probably something like that. So let's talk about Lane Hutson and maybe more so Jaden Struble. That pairing, they've been a little bit of a storyline recently, and not in a good way, as before it felt like that pairing was some sort of a mysterious super potion that the elements just work together somehow, and nobody really knew why. When Montreal puts out Struble and Hutson, they are looking for offense. They're looking to stay in the offensive zone. Hutson is able to quarterback an offensive zone push, and Struble has identified himself as a defensive player who is able to sustain offensive zone time by predicting the gaps, but he's also very smart in terms of predicting when the play is going to get turned over. The problem that I've been seeing lately is that when they're put out, the other bench counters by putting out their best forwards every time. This is where the lack of experience and honestly the lack of true shutdown presence starts to show with this pairing. Lane Hutson has been getting exposed lately. There's no way around it. He's extremely talented offensively. He moves the puck well, he creates chances, but when the other team is sending their top line at him, Hutson either needs a partner that can shut down the play, or Hutson needs to kind of back off, calm things down a little bit. When the play goes sour and starts to go south, Jaden Struble needs to be there to shut down that push. And right now, recently, he hasn't been there to do that. The Winnipeg game was different, but Struble has been a weak point lately. Tuesday night, according to Hockey Stat Cards, he was the worst skater in the entire league. That's not a good thing. And because Hutson is his partner, Hutson ends up wearing a lot of that damage too. You can actually see it in their shifts. Hutson is trying to do too much. Struble is losing battles or losing positioning, and the pairing gets hemmed in. For me, that lines up perfectly with the eye test, and now the stats are there to support that. They're just getting stuck in the defensive zone too often. But let's put a little pin in that and talk about Alexandre Carrier. We've seen a fall from grace for Carrier. He came in last season around this time and was an immediate improvement to the Montreal Canadiens. The team turned around their stats in December significantly, and they started winning games. Carrier was a large component of that. He was shutting down plays in the defensive zone, getting the puck out and moving into transition plays. This little stint recently has not been good for Carrier. He has had a handful of good games this entire season. But why? Why? It's complicated, but it's simple. He's not winning his battles. He needs to win those battles against the board, and he needs to get his puck to his teammates as quickly as possible. It's just not happening. Add to that the, one or two defensive breakdowns each game he's been having, and it looks really bad. The good thing with that is I think it's a head thing. He just needs to get out of it. The ability is there. It's just the body isn't willing, it seems. The community is noticing, and it's being well documented, that Carrier is just not performing up to his standards. Oddly enough, Xhekaj has been kind of compensating for him. It just isn't enough, and their time on the ice is being separated by Carrier working with other line mates, and when he's working with those other line mates, he's not performing very well with those ones either. All that to say, the third line pairing for defensemen, it is shaky. At least when we had Savard, you knew that there was going to be some shutdown in the defensive zone. Very cautious defenseman, and Carrier at times is not cautious. Okay, let's move on. It's not just the defense though. Jake Evans and Josh Anderson deserve some of the blame too. They appear as two of the worst skaters of the entire week based on Hockey Stat Card's algorithm, and honestly, it makes sense. They are asked to play a tough defensive style and tough defensive minutes on the PK, and now they're without their third line mate that really helped shut down plays. Joel Armia was excellent in that role. He handled board battles, he killed cycles, he bought a lot of time for the team to shut down plays and transition into the offensive game. So without Armia, they're getting exposed in traditional defense. They're spending way too much time reacting instead of dictating the play. I thought that Florian was going to be the answer to that solution, and I thought that he had flashes, but that's a game that he needs to develop, I think, and I would really like to see him develop that game. So even with all that being said and pointing the blame at several players on the team, I still think that there is more blame to be had. For example, Mike Matheson and Noah Dobson haven't been playing great games either lately. I think some of that can be blamed on how much time they spend on the ice. Guarantee that you spend more time on the ice, yeah, you're going to be there for more goals and maybe more goals against. And lately, the goals against have been piling up. Then with the entire forward group, yeah, they could be sustaining more offensive zone ice time. But then you're getting into semantics, and you know what? There's actually one more group of people that could get the blame. The management staff. I don't know how long you've watched me and been following this channel, but I will admit I often side with management, and I usually like the course that they decide to set. I like the new age management style. I think a lot of the choices they make are fair, and I usually just trust the process. So I say this, and I don't put it lightly. I think management has made some bad decisions in terms of ice time, in terms of line pairings, and in terms of deployments. I'm not saying we need to launch Martin St. Louis into the sun like some individuals online are suggesting, but if they are allowed to maybe say that some players are lazy, that they need to battle harder in the corners and this and that, forechecks, backchecks, I'm putting it out there that maybe management is being a little bit lazy too. Do your homework, fill in those cracks. I think that's a good place to leave it on, honestly. But I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments what you think could be helping the team at this point. Do you see a line pairing that might work that hasn't been tried, like Bolduc and Demidov? Like, do they have some sort of aversion towards that? Why haven't they tried that? I'm going to end it right there. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. The Christmas creep is fully on. We've got the tree up. I put the decorations out. That was, it's like it gets harder every year, I think. My son is super excited for Christmas. It's double special for him because he was born right near Christmas. So we do birthday stuff, we do Christmas stuff. It's a real fun time of the year for him. And in fact, we're going to be going on an excursion together, him and I. We're renting a hotel room downtown, and we are going to see a Wildcats game. And I'm going to buy him merch. I'm going to make it a really fun event for him. So I'm excited for that. But you guys know what to do. Hit the like button. Helps me out with findability, search results, or something like that. SEO. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I would love to have you as part of this community. Help us get to 20,000 subscribers. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.